All right, so I'm making some Moo Shu pork. I like to do it with lots of mushrooms. This is the recipe from my book, at least similar to it. Loosely following it. Moo Shu pork, so it's a stir fry of pork, woodear mushrooms, dried daylilies, eggs, and I use a lot of mushrooms in mine because I just like the way mushrooms taste in this. All right, so I have this wok preheating, very high heat. Then I'm going to turn it down, as I always do for eggs. So I'm going to turn it down to low, preheat it over high, turn it down to low, get your oil in there, it'll smoke immediately, and then we add in our eggs. They will cook very quickly, and they will not stick because we preheated properly. This time we're looking for not too much liquid egg, relatively solid scramble. Okay? About that. Preheat again, high heat. Get all that egg out of there. Now we're going to cook our pork. So as with any stir fry, the key again is really preheating the wok properly and cooking in batches. That's the secret to stir frying at home. All right, we got a little bit smoking hot. So this pork has been marinated, soy sauce, Shaoxing wine, a little cornstarch, a little salt, sugar, a little bit of oil. I think I put an egg white and some MSG in there, although in this dish I don't always put an egg white, but today I did, because I think I was using the pork for something else, and I'm actually reusing it for a different dish, and now I'm using it for this one. So it's a little bit different than what I would have done, but about a little less than a pound pork here. This one I'm going to keep the heat high. Pork loin, by the way, relatively lean. Oh, I also put a little bit of baking soda in there. I don't know if I put baking soda in the recipe in my book. These days I almost always put some baking soda in my stir fry marinades because I like the way they soften the texture of the meat and make it kind of slick and tender and juicy. So the pork we're going to stir fry just until it's not quite but almost cooked through. Minute or two. You know, people tell me that their woks at home are not seasoned well enough to do something like this or to cook eggs. It is, I promise you. You can do it with a brand new wok. It's really just a question of preheating it properly. A wok does not get seasoned the way a cast iron pan does. Oh, hi there, Hamon. Yeah, you have that piece I dropped. So you're not trying to build up like tons and tons of layers of polymers of seasoning like you would with a cast iron pan. With a wok, really, you're just looking to it's basically, when we say seasoning for wok, we're not talking about the seasoning in the same sense as a cast iron pan. We're talking about seasoning per use, which means preheating properly before you start using it. Finally, I'm going to go in with my mushrooms. I like lots of mushrooms in this dish. Preheated nicely, a little more oil. Throwing in some slices of ginger and garlic. Just going to let that sizzle for a few seconds to infuse the oil. And then I got mushrooms. So this is a mix of mushrooms. I've got buna shimeji, I've got shiitake. So yeah, beach mushrooms and shiitake basically are what I got here right now. I might have a couple of, no, I think that's all I have in here. You can use any kind of mix of mushrooms. So you can use button mushrooms if you want, cremini. You could use portobello. What you want to do is, any big mushroom, you want to slice it. And any small mushrooms, leave them whole. Enoki would be great. Maitake would be great. All right. And at this point, we can start adding our other ingredients back in. Actually, no, I'm going to first add my remaining ingredients. So these are the daylilies and the woodear mushrooms that I had soaking in warm water and then squeezed dry and then just cut into pieces. You can buy those dried at virtually any Chinese market, or you can get them online. And there's also a couple scallions in there that I sliced up. All right. Looking nice and fragrant. Looking good. All right, so now is where everything goes back in. So the eggs, the pork. So you see, by cooking in batches like this, what happens is that everything cooks nice and hot, so you don't end up steaming your ingredients. You end up really stir frying them, which is what you want. You want to stir fry should remain sort of dry the whole time as it's cooking. See? That way, everything remains bright and fresh, colorful. All right, now we're just going to season. Salt. White pepper. MSG. Of course, optional again, as always. Everything is optional. Splash of Shaoxing wine around the edges. Do a little more than that. A splash of soy sauce, also around the edges. We want the soy sauce to kind of, you want to hear that sizzle. You want it to sear against the hot metal. And that's what gives it a little bit of extra flavor. Some of that, the wok hei flavor, the smoky flavor of wok comes from that sort of seared soy sauce. Finally, just a touch of sesame oil. Toasted sesame oil. We're done. So this we serve with Mandarin pancakes. You can buy them frozen and heat them. You can make them yourself. There's a recipe in my book, The Wok, or I have a video about it too, actually. Or you can just get flour tortillas. And, they're thicker than Mandarin pancakes, but they work just fine. A little bit of hoisin sauce and a Mandarin pancake. We're ready to go. Moo Shu pork. Very fast, very easy. All right, guys, gals, non-binary pals. I'll see you next time.